Hello and welcome everyone to this week's Stellar Developer Meeting. Today I have Christian from OpenZeppelin here, and he's going to give a quick introduction to OpenZeppelin and the collaboration we've been having for a while, and just have a quick check-in on where we are on things with getting Stellar on OpenZeppelin. So welcome, Christian.
Nice question. Nice to meet you. Yeah. So it's great to be here. I'll give, I think I can give more a bit of introduction about Open Zeppelin and for the people that might have missed it, our partnership, the work that we're going to do with Stellar, if that's okay.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, for the one that missed it, Open Zeppelin signed basically a partnership with Stellar that is going to be 2 years long, and the goal is to improve the developer experience on Stellar. Why is that? The reason is that Open Zeppelin is, of course, known for being a security blockchain company. We are like one of the top auditing firm for security services, but we built that based on our Solidity contracts library. So to give you the reference, our Solidity contract library has basically processed over 20 trillion in total value transferred. It now secured over 150 billion in total value locked, processing over 3 billion of transaction, 250 million of active wallet use Open Zeppelin contracts. So like that's huge adoption, of course. To give like a percentage, it's like 35% of EVM blockchain transaction are processed for Open Zeppelin contracts, and it's like of course a big number that tells for how simple, how safe, and how good is for developers to build on top of Open Zeppelin contracts. So the goal of the partnership with Stellar is to bring that easy of building and that nice developer experience to the Stellar ecosystem. We believe a lot in the Stellar ecosystem, and we want to give Stellar developers a great experience to build application better and easier. So over this year, we're basically going to develop a full Soroban contracts library, bringing many of the flagship contracts that we have on the Solidity library. So like ERC20, that is like fungible token, ERC721 that are like non-fungible token, the Vault standard, and many others that are tailored to the Stellar ecosystem. And on top of that, we're also going to build open source developer tooling that is going to help a lot developers to automate a lot of tasks. One of those tools is Relayers that allow for like gasless meta transaction, and it works together with monitors that we're also going to bring on Stellar. So basically, you might want to set some specific condition on your contract, and you want transaction, of course, to run automatically based on the parameters you set. You will be able to do that very soon, also on Stellar, and that's, I think, great. And in general, yeah, we'll work on improving developer experience based on feedback by the community. That's a bit on the general overview of what we're going to build over the next 2 years. It's going to be a long partnership.
Yeah, it's great. I love that it's going to make it easier for developers to add tokenization or add payments, and also the secure part of it, the audit part of it. I think is a very appealing option for developers.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, exactly. The goal is to bring the more tools that can help really developers to build in an easy and, of course, safe way. And actually, I mean, it's we did very recently the first release of the library. We actually released the fungible token standard, along with some extension that allow for the token to have extension like mintable, burnable, posable, and a couple of other things. It's just, of course, a first simple release, but it's already being used, and that's amazing. And actually, part of this as part of this release, we also added Stellar to the OpenZeppelin wizard, which is a smart contract interactive generator that I can share right now, I guess, right?
Yep. I actually
Okay.
had an opportunity to play with the wizard a little bit, and I must say this makes it so much easier. There's a lot of thoughts put into building this. It's very obvious, and it makes it very easy and productive for developers.
Yeah, exactly. This is basically the wizard interface. We have many users over over the over 10,000 users using our Solidity wizard that you can see as many standard that you can take as a reference of how the Stellar wizard might look like. But yeah, we did the first release, and the great thing of the wizard is that you can uh, go to wizard.openzeppelin.com/stellar, and it's completely free. Like you don't need to create an account or anything. You just go on the application, and you can basically get your fungible token Stellar contract in seconds. I'm not a developer, disclaimer, I'm not a developer. I lead marketing at OpenZeppelin. By the way, I didn't introduce myself. But it's actually also for me very simple to use. Like, for instance, like you can just set the name of the token. I'm gonna call it like Christian token. Give it a symbol, and you can see like the automatically parameters are changing in the contract. You can give a per-mint amount of token, that is the amount initial amount of supply that it gives to the token deployer address. Set like 10,000 token, and you can see it's appearing here on the wizard already with the decimals that it needs to have. And then you can set also like some features. The first one, they do basically what you see on the screen. So the first one is mintable, and it gives basically right to the token deployer to create more supply at a certain point. And if I click on it, you're gonna see that exactly it's add the code that it needs to add. Another feature that is burnable, and on this one, the token deployer address is able to destroy some token at will. And the last one, which I think is very useful also outside of token, is posable. That gives the token deployer address the right to exactly own the contract. And it's gonna basically input all the parameters that you need to deploy the contract in here. And I think Possible is very interesting. It's a very interesting extension, not just for token, but in general for smart contracts. That I think one of the main things, like I've been in the blockchain industry for some time, and like one of the core things of blockchain is always that we always pitch is like immutability, which is a great thing on one side, but on the other side, we know that developing application is a constant process, and sometime you're gonna need to have that function that allow to pause a contract for security reason. We work with many DAOs like Compound, Scroll, and others, and is a very important extension in case of security events. So that's an important one. And finally, yeah, you have the license. By default, OpenZeppelin license are under MIT. It's just a note, but anyway, like you can select like your parameters, and the final thing is you can just copy the contract and put it in your Stellar CLE, or yeah, you can also download it and do whatever you need. But that's a bit the overview for Wizard.
Great. Yeah, and when you toggle these features, you just see that it just adds the functions to the code. It's really easy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's great. To be honest, I told you, like, I'm not a developer, but I'm able to create a contract myself. So exactly, that's great. You just toggle the button, and exactly, it's gonna change parameters. It's gonna import what it needs to import, and adding other function here at the end. So that's exactly the thing. And I think that James Bacchini also did a video. For the wizard that both OpenZeppelin and Build on Stellar posted on X or Twitter. You can check more on that. He's actually putting the wizard into action, and he really is able to deploy a contract on the Stellar blockchain in 5 minutes with the wizard. And I think that's a great thing, right? Of what I said at the beginning, the goal of partnership is to make development on Stellar easy, fast, and safe. And the wizard is a great tool that now developers on Stellar can use.
Great. Yeah, I see Jane's link to James' video, and I'll recommend everyone to go watch it. It's really a neat video and project. So you mentioned a little bit about tooling in the beginning. What kind of tooling are you providing, and what kind of what do I get if I sign up for OpenZeppelin?
Yes, yeah. I mean, the cool thing is you let's say you don't need to sign up in terms of OpenZeppelin. We have the tagline somewhere of OpenZeppelin equal open source. We are committing to more and more to open source development. And we mainly do that through 2 ways. The first one is contract libraries. And again, like everything we release is, on GitHub, is public, and we also encourage we encourage a lot of community feedback to improve our contract. And that's one side, right? You can take just the OpenZeppelin contract, import in the protocol that you need, and you can build on top of that. And it's already great. In terms of tooling, we are building on top of Defender. That's an application that we built with a lot of development operation tooling. I mentioned before a couple that are relayers and monitors, but we will actually bring many more. So yeah, I can give the rundown. That is, the first one is called Code Inspector, that is basically used to quickly analyze a code base that you can input into the tool to basically give you back some known issues. It's like a mini audit. You're not getting the audit, but you're getting, the rundown of the main and known issues that your code might have. So that's already a great addition to check for, known issue. Another one, exactly, I mentioned, the relayers is very important, like to the automation process of transaction, and to working together with monitors that you can set up or relay on any parameters or condition that you want is great. So you basically can create workflows, right, for your protocol that are very interesting. So to give more like practical examples, like you might want, for instance, you let's say DeFi application can check on specific transaction that happen on a liquidity pool. For instance, if you see some suspicious transaction, you might be able to like pause the market, or change some parameters that you want to change, or something like that. Or for instance, another application that maybe when users like sign up into the application, you want to send some a little bit of token to let users play into your app, because it requires some token. You can do that through relayers and monitors. So that's very powerful for building developer automations. We're also going to build some other tools like deploy, that is like basically a tool that will help a lot with like actually deploying smart contracts and making that actually safe and easy, especially when sometimes when deploying like new protocol version, actually new protocol from scratch, you have a lot of contracts to deploy all at the same time, and these tools come handy. And we're also gonna build basically a tool that is I think for the first time we're building a tool exactly for Stellar, that is the test tool. We still have to define together with the community what that actually will look like, but the goal is to bring a lot of more testing features for Sorbonne contracts and make sure developers can easily test thoroughly smart contracts before actually putting into production. That's a bit of the overview, but as I told before, like this is just the starting point. 2 years is a long time in blockchain to build a lot, and we really welcome developer seller community feedback to let us know what they think, what they need, and we'll definitely work with them to make the best developer experience possible on Stellar.
Great. Thank you. I don't know if you have anything else Otherwise, we could maybe see if there's a couple of questions.
Yeah, no, that's it. Let's see if we
See.
have some questions, but yeah, that's it.
Let's go through. I can see there's a lot of excitement about OpenZeppelin integration in the comments. I see one question. It's about if the partnership includes upstream things to Soroban itself. I do not know that.
Unfortunately, I don't have the answer. I don't know enough. I don't know either. I will need to check with the team. But yeah, I'm sorry, I don't have the answer for that.
Yeah, no, it's early on. It's like you said, it's a 2-year project, so we just
Mhm.
we're just scratching the surface right now, and yeah, I'm super excited about this, about what can come out of this partnership, and what it means for developers. I think it definitely offers some ways for developers who may not have extensive experience in working with tokens or payments. It's an easy way to integrate it. So yeah, thank you. If we don't,
I see some question about NFT.
yeah,
That's
yeah, let's see that.
exactly non-fungible token are next on the list to be released. To be released very soon, very soon. And of course, like actually something that I probably didn't stress enough before actually, putting every release into production phase, we have a thorough internal audit. OpenZeppelin is again one of the top auditing firm. We have audited really so many of the leading blockchain protocols like Uniswap before, 1inch, Compound, Morpho, really any of the top protocol you can think of in blockchain. OpenZeppelin has audited many of those guys, so that comes, with a lot of security. So yeah, NFT is next on the list. Upgradable contracts are also coming soon.
Okay, great. Let me see. I don't know if you have anything about. There's a question from Matthias about the ERC 6900. I don't know if you have any thoughts about that.
I don't, to be honest. I think, I mean, what we can do is also what we shared before. We can have another developer meeting, and we can have like actually the developers from OpenZeppelin that are building the library and the tools that can give more insights into the tech that we
Yeah.
are going to build.
Yeah, I think we should do some follow up meetings, because as everything develops, I think it could be interesting to get some of your engineers on board, and maybe do some examples of how to use the OpenZeppelin integration. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see what's coming up, and I'm happy to do another session later.
Yeah,
So
exactly. I see the last question about like from Tupui, like it's the partition includes like audit for Stellar funded project. We are also bringing like audit to Stellar, uh, but I mean you can check with like the Stellar Foundation that it's up to the Stellar Foundation if do such a program. But we're also bringing like auditing services to Stellar if that's the question.
okay, and then there's one about point of view on classic slash Sorbonne bridging.
I see. I don't have an opinion, to be honest,
Yeah, it seems
on
to
this one.
be
Yeah.
maybe a little bit outside the scope of
Yeah,
what's
yeah, yeah.
planned for.
A little bit. But yeah, it's nice to see, man, to be honest, many interesting questions. And I can tell from the marketing side, I've been seeing a lot of excitement from the Stellar community, and that's like great. We work again with many other successful chains and protocols. And the Stellar community is one that is really something that you notice, when you do stuff. So that's amazing. I'm really excited again for the partnership and having another session of this involving our developers, answering more technical question. I'm sorry, but I can't go any deeper than that.
No, and that was not the plan for this. This is more like an introduction to the partnership that we have, and a little bit of an look into what's coming up and what's already there. So yeah, we will do a more technical session at a later time. But thank you so much, Christian, for joining here today. I think this is super interesting. This is a good it's a good addition to our tool belt for the developers. So yeah, thank you for joining, and thank you everyone else for joining today and for all the questions. So see you next week. Thank you.
That's
Bye.
great. Thank you very much, Carsten, and thank you to everyone, all these amazing questions and the people here. See you next time.
Bye.